This is the WillCo Sports Power Hour live here from Tony's Eat and Drink. I'm Charles Pulliam with the Williamson Herald. Happy to have everybody tuned in, checking us out here. This show, of course, brought to you by Tim Thompson, Premier Realtors, Gateway Tire and Service, Toyota Cool Springs, Matthews Team Sports, and John Mayer Builders. Got a nice lineup here. We're going to talk a little soccer, going to talk a little football, and really, we should probably just kick things off. We have the Williamson County Schools Athletic Director, Mr. Coach Patrick Whitlock. Coach, I'm always going to call you Coach. I hope you don't mind that, right?
And that's how I'd prefer it. So
yes,
appreciate
yes.
that.
Well, I mean, this has been a pretty exciting time for you coming into this job. I know it was during the summer, right around the WillCos, but what's this first couple weeks kind of been like in terms of the school year starting, being that voice for athletics within WCS?
It's been a whirlwind. You know, every day it's like something different. Honestly, school starting has provided a little bit of a break. You don't get as many calls during the day, but trying to get together, you know, our coaches PD this summer, the football media day, and then also trying to, you know, run the circuit here and make sure that all our sports are getting the proper coverage. So we appreciate all you do on that.
There's a lot going on, right? I mean, it's once we're in it, like I was just trying to plan out my week, and I'm going to go to a golf match for a little while to check out the Brentwood boys, our defending state champs. Then there's the volleyball match of the early season here, Brentwood and Nolensville, the rematch of the state championship last year. That's a big one tomorrow night. I mean, there's just always something going on.
It's a little crazy. I was talking with Tate Matthews today, and I said, you know, this could set up to be the most dominant fall sports season in Williamson County history. You've legitimately got two teams, maybe three, that could compete for state football championships. Volleyball obviously going to be strong. Girls soccer, whoever comes out of that District 10 AAA has always got a shot. Girls and boys cross country, and then we got two reigning champions in golf.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know, if everything broke perfectly, you could look at like 6, 7, maybe 8 state championships just in the fall.
And we had set the record last year, I think, within the district here on our team state championships, if not championship contenders making it to that championship game too. And it's a lot to keep up with, but that's the beauty of athletics here in WillCo, huh?
I'm getting very educated very quickly, that's for sure.
Good. Well, we have some football we want to talk about here too. So again, we got Page Soccer in the house. It's going to be represented. We have Independence football a little later on in the show, and also BGA football is going to come along here too. So really looking forward to some good recaps and stuff. But before we get rolling here, I'm going to run through our Toyota Cool Springs Week 1 high school football scoreboard here. So Battleground Academy, 48-13 winners over Jackson Prep. Page beats Giles County, 47-34. Lebanon over Nolensville, 27-22. Oakland over CPA, 28-14. Summit beat Spring Hill, 13-0. GCA knocked off FCA, 33-0. Independence over Rockville. We're going to talk specifically about this one in a little while. Indy, 37-23 winners. Brentwood beats Smyrna, 14-13. That's another one we're going to feature here. Brentwood Academy, 45-7 winners over Lawson. Ravenwood goes all the way down to Mississippi, picks up a 28-24 win. We're going to chat that one as well. Stewart's Creek fends off Centennial, 39-36. Fairview tops East Hickman, 49-18. And Franklin with a shutout win over Laverne, 20-0. I know we got some of the other schools outside of your realm here in terms of district stuff, but a very fun opening week here with some good wins there. I think right away we got to go right into some Ravenwood stuff. That rally for a W at Madison Ridgeland Academy was one that's a perennial powerhouse nationally, and here the Ravenwood boys find a way to come back.
Yeah, it really speaks volumes. You know, they got down 17-0, had a punt blocked about midway through the second quarter. They go down on 2 consecutive possessions, get inside the 5-yard line, and only come away with 2 field goals. So I think it says a lot about Coach Rodriguez and what kind of mentality he's instilled in these kids. You know, following Coach Hester's not easy, but everything not going their way at halftime. Femi Babalola able to make a big play in the second half, change the momentum, and they got the win. So 7 hours from home, that's pretty impressive.
Had Ricky on our other show on 104.5 The Zone on Saturday. That's the high school power hour that airs on Fridays here. But Ricky spoke about, hey, you know, my first time as the head coach at Ravenwood on the sidelines, and just about everything that could go wrong went wrong. but nobody was panicked. Nobody was flustered by it. It's 17-0 on the road in a different state at a loud, busy stadium, and the guys just buckled down. Nothing to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it can be overstated how difficult that is. You know, you're a new coach, your first game at a school that's had a lot of success following essentially a legend. A lot of doubt could creep in there at halftime, but it didn't faze him, didn't faze the kids, and that's quite an effort.
So Ravenwood with the big one. You mentioned Femi Babaloa, the senior quarterback of a two-quarterback system there. Maverick Chance, the other QB1 there. Still not 100% here. Coach Rodriguez has been preaching it for a couple years here. Coach Hester from last year, too. Like, Femi knows how to run with the ball, and sure enough, you said it there. That third quarter, a 71-yard touchdown to really ignite things after a couple field goals to end the half. He ends up scoring with about 6.5 to play in the fourth, capping a long drive, too. I think that was a 15-play, about a 70-yard drive in the fourth quarter on the road down. Man, you can't ask for much more.
Yeah, it was an impressive win over a really reputable program. So should give them some momentum moving forward as they, you know, their schedule doesn't get a whole lot easier as they go through the year.
So one of those other games we want to go to when we're thinking about Brentwood, we should just go just across the road over here to Brentwood High, opening with a big win as well. Brentwood knocks off Smyrna 14-13. This is another team that kind of had to rally for the win and score late. Keenan Fisher ended up having the PAT that was the difference. But the big thing, Coach, and I know you know of, and you were a friend of this man for a long time, but one of our local legends, James C. Parker. This was the first Brentwood game that we didn't have Mr. Parker, the original Bruin, the original principal, on the sidelines there, and it's just a little different.
Well, he was still working some of his magic the way they came back and won that game. But yeah, Mr. Parker's a great guy. He's actually a guy that knew my grandfather. My grandfather was in education a little bit. He would come sub at Ravenwood and tell me stories about my grandfather. So it was always special to talk to him. And anytime you went over to Brentwood, he was always there. So obviously a little bit different feel over there, but I'm sure he was looking down on the Bruins and was pretty happy they got the win.
Coach Finch was talking about that specifically here, too. Good coverage of that game. Of course, my colleague Charlie Bateman was covering it for the Williamson Herald there and just spoke a little bit about it. They had a nice pregame slideshow presentation, just a good remembrance. They were handing out bracelets, but 502 games. Every single football game for 43 years as James has been on the sidelines there. Mr. Parker is just one of those guys, and, you know, I think it was Joe Williams that kind of penned it in one of his columns here recently about how that's just a record you can't beat. That's an unbeatable record.
No, that's an amazing statistic. Every game in Brentwood history. I wouldn't even want to challenge that record.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
That's home and away, folks. That's a lot of random trips to Henry County. You name it, he's always there. They always had a spot for him in the bus. Definitely thinking of all the friends, all the family within Mr. Parker there, but really good win for the Bruins to get things started. And, hey, they get Brentwood Academy this week.
Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a matchup. But, you know, new season, new faces, but the one thing that stays the same is the Brentwood defense.
Definitely.
Always a great defensive team. You know, only really gave up 6 points because of the pick six. So if they can, and they're probably struggling to find a little bit of continuity on offense because of some of the injuries and illness to their quarterback. But Parker Emerson coming up a big play, scoring 2 touchdowns. So good win for them, and that's going to be a heck of a game this Friday.
That's, you said it, Parker, the Dual Jr., I believe, and he just did it all. He threw a couple passes, ran a couple, caught a couple, scored the 2 big touchdowns. That is just one of those dudes, as we call them around here.
Yeah, you got to have guys like that if you're going to be successful. But, you know, getting that week 1 win is big.
Speaking of week 1 wins here, we're going to get to chat with one of our guys here later on in the show and really focus in on this Independence game here. But Independence goes to Rockvale and picks up a 37-23 opening week win, the debut of Indy 2.0 for Coach Scott Blade, and I think you got the start you wanted in a way there.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Rockvale, not a pushover opponent by any means. Good week 1 opponent, definitely gets your attention. But you had some really good offensive performances. You know, Matt Horner threw for over 200 yards. Hunter Mullen, 5 receptions, had a touchdown. But I think the one that kind of popped a little bit was Hendricks Harvey, 4 receptions, 97 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah. Well, how about that, right? And remember, this is the 6'6" quarterback, Horner, coming in here. His 3 top receivers, I I think they combined for maybe a half dozen receptions all of last season. So there's not a lot of like, hey, we've been doing this a long time. This is week one. They go out, and it was impressive. I'm really excited to know a little bit more about this game. We got one of the linebackers in the house that's going to tell us a little bit about it later in the show, but it was 16-0, then it was 23-23, then it was a monsoon for a little while.
Yeah, a stoppage of play in there, which is never easy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and just finding a way to win. So Indy debuts with the big one, and I think there's just different excitement down in Thompson Station with Coach Blade there.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed. I see a lot of people, West Haven, which is close to where I live. I see a lot of Indy faithful from time to time, and just the way they're talking about this team is vastly different this year than it was, say, a year ago.
Definitely. Looking forward to that one. Independence with a big win over in Murfreesboro, so that was a fun one. I was able to check out part of that. One of the other games I wanted to mention here, Coach, before we let you go and we move on and chat with some of our students in the house here too, was Fairview's win. So Coach Chris Hughes, I mean, you go back to Media Day, and we talked a lot about the pathway in Class 3A and just having Jax McCoy, your quarterback, back from injury, and just some of those pieces, anxious to erase last year's rare, let's see, they went 4-7. I think they only had 4 wins, but thinking of starting off with a win, it looks like they got some early season momentum.
Yeah, getting Jax McCoy back is huge. He was having a heck of a game against East Hickman last year before he had the injury. And Coach Hughes has got a little bit of offensive mastermind in him, and they like to get up and down the field. They got a defensive touchdown early in this game on a scoop and score, and really were never threatened. So I'll be at the game against Centennial this Friday night. Really looking forward to that, and I think that's going to be a really tight game. Fairview stepping up, playing a bigger school. But they got a lot of weapons and a renewed sense of enthusiasm this year, so I think that'll be really good.
That's one of those things, too, where you think about Coach Hughes, and over the years here, I know they've always been the smaller school on the edge of the county out there, and he'll always talk about it like, hey, you just got to come see us sometime. We got a good spot. We got a good thing going here. But this week, like you said, there's a good game here, right here locally, Friday night. Centennial and Fairview playing it off. Fairview always finds a way to play some of these tough teams, too. And what a good local game here. What do you kind of think about that one?
Centennial's defense left a lot to be desired on Friday night. It was kind of one of those games where whoever has the ball last, is going to win, even though Stewart's Creek, very good team. So it'll be interesting to see what adjustments Coach Graham makes this week, trying to fix the defense a little bit. But I don't think Fairview's going to come in here and be intimidated or back down. I think they're coming here thinking they're going to win the game. And it's kind of a swing game for both programs. Centennial needing a win. And you talk about, Fairview is one of those teams that we could look, in early November and be like, this team's got a chance to make a deep run. Got a lot of talent, and Coach Hughes has kind of changed the whole trajectory this year based on what he went through last year.
It actually, regardless of classification, it's just one of those circled ones where I think a lot of the mid-state eyes are going to kind of be like, hey, how good is Fairview? How does Centennial bounce back from falling up just short? They were trading blows with Stewart's Creek right to the finish there, fell short by just 3. But, what are these two teams going to do? I know Coach Jay Graham wants that first win. All those different storylines come into play. That is a unique situation on both sides.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure on Centennial. You don't want to be the school that loses a smaller school, but this would not be a bad loss for them. But, Fairview coming in probably with a little chip on their shoulder and a lot to prove.
Well, Coach, I know we have so much going on through the week. Obviously, a great all-Williamson County, all-WCS matchup on Friday with that game. Thinking about all the other stuff going on, I mentioned a really cool volleyball match coming up tomorrow. Tell me a little bit about your week schedule here. How do we, where are we going to find you? Are you on the sidelines? Are you bouncing everywhere? What's going on?
It's you wake up each day, you look at your calendar. Didn't have to do that a year ago. Obviously, that Nolensville-Brentwood volleyball matchup is going to be pretty big. We've got some good soccer matchups later in the week as well. Friday night I'll be at Centennial Fairview. This past Friday, I actually went home and watched the games on the big screen because you could flip around.
Yeah.
So, trying to spread the wealth a little bit, but never a dull moment. And, it's not even September.
Yeah.
We got a lot to look forward to.
Definitely. One thing before I let you go here, too, the Outside the Lines kids, I heard a lot of really good things. They obviously were helping out me last week during the broadcast for WAKM. Joe Williams and Dana McClendon there with it. They had a couple helpers on the sidelines. They were broadcasting that GCA win over at Franklin Christian Academy and hearing a lot of good things. about
Yeah,
that.
it's a special group. You know, we got 7 of them this year, and they've all got a little bit different talent. But yeah, Joe could not stop raving about what a great job they did. So very proud of them, and looking forward to the rest of the work they're going to put out this year.
Definitely. Coach Whitlock, always a pleasure having you. Thanks so much for taking a little bit of your time to come chat with us. I know we got some shows we got to look forward to this week. Where can we find them?
Well, you can always check it out on YouTube, WCTV. We got Sports Connection, which we filmed today, and then we'll have our WCTV Game of the Week, which is Summit and Nolensville this week. Should be a good battle.
Like you said, lots of good Williamson County games coming. Coach, appreciate you coming on. Patrick Whitlock of Williamson County Schools, the latest athletic director coming through here. Really excited to see what he does, and it's been a lot of fun following. Coach, thank you so much. Hey, do you want to grab a meal at Tony's here while he's getting?
I'm good. I'm trying to watch
all right.
it. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Coach Whitlock in the house here. Again, this is the WillCo Sports Power Hour. I'm Charles Pulliam with the Williamson Herald. We're live here at Tony's Eat and Drink. We're here every Monday night from 6 to about 7:15. So always excited to feature our local athletes here. We got a couple good ones coming up here. Want to give that shout out to some of our good sponsors out there. Tim Thompson, Premier Realtors, Gateway Tire and Service, and Toyota Cool Springs. Again, looking through some of those Week 1 football scores. We're going to come back to football in a moment here, but we do have one of our first Gateway Tire Athletes of the Week in the house here. Miss Reagan Vaughan, can you come on up here and join me? We're going to chat a little Page soccer before shifting back over to some football, but really excited to have Reagan here. And, hey, welcome back to the show. Welcome to it's senior season, if not mistaken, too,
Yes.
right? Oh man, has that really kind of sunk in about being a senior?
Yes.
Ooh, tell me, well, how the parents handling it?
Oh, they're good. It's,
Okay,
We're
okay.
happy the college stuff is over right now. So, yeah.
All right. Well, tell me about this. I know this time of year it's a tradition to go to Gatlinburg, and you guys have some of that. The big tournament there. It's the Smoky Mountain Cup, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how the weekend went. What do we see from the Page girls?
So we got in on Friday, played a really good team, Harpeth Hall, and it was our first game. So we're just still trying to get the chemistry back from last year after our state run.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to find it, and we're definitely able to get more as the games are going. Just the communication and just figuring out the things that we need to work and improve on each practice. So.
Okay. Again, so Reagan is our first of the school year here, our Gateway Tire Female Athlete of the Week for her play last week. Reagan, congratulations first off on that front. Our friend Tate Matthews and Garth Bolden, my usual co-host here, we have some gear for you, but it's not with me just yet, and I do apologize. But we're going to present it to you as soon as we can. I promise. It's one of those first week hiccups kind of things. So I apologize, but we're going to get it your way. Well, tell me what you, I guess, coming in, some of the things we were a little worried about maybe for this Page team. I know thinking about last year and the run you guys were able to have. What are we seeing in terms of maybe some of your teammates that are stepping into bigger roles, things like that? What have you seen so far in this opening couple weeks?
So we didn't really lose a lot of starters, but we lost our senior goalkeeper. So one of our sophomores has stepped up in goal, and it's a really big opportunity to fill because, senior goalkeeper leaves, and she hasn't had much experience on varsity. So she's really stepped into that role for us, and it's been a really great addition to our back line. We have a few sophomores stepping up as well. We have a really old team, a lot of seniors and juniors, so really excited to see how those sophomores and freshmen end up next year.
Mm-hmm. That kind of coming into a season where you're kind of used to your teammates and things, that adds a lot to it, right? Just the camaraderie and everything. Can you share a little bit about just how close you guys are? Because when you get to play alongside your friends for an extended period of time, you just know where someone's going to be. You know how to react. You know what to expect when she gets the ball, that kind of thing. Tell me about that camaraderie and what you've learned from these girls here.
Yeah. So since we all go to high school together, we're all just really good friends on and off the field. We do so much team building off the field, going to each other's houses and having games and just having fun with each other. And then it transfers to on the field with our communication and just understanding of one another. since last year we didn't have many like new returning players. Sorry. We were just able to continue with the chemistry that we built over the season last year. So we're just hoping to continue to grow with our communication and just understanding each other on the field.
Can you kind of speak a little bit on the being one of those teams, being a veteran team coming back that actually, and one that had success last year on top of that, that kind of puts a little more of a target on your back too. How do you handle that kind of pressure knowing that you're going to get the best from everybody you face?
Yeah, so we just moved up divisions not 3 years ago. We already made it to the state tournament last year. So everybody already knows Paige and that we're the team to beat. So we accept that, and we just have to work our best to just prove that we're the team that everybody thinks we are. So
now, here locally, we just had Coach Whitlock on, obviously, and we know so much about how tough it is to play in Williamson County here in this league. And if you have the opportunity to get out of this district, you have a really good shot at making it to state and making an opportunity to make some noise there as well, too. I think is it this week or next week where we dive into some region play? I think you got Independence. First off, it's Father Ryan, then Indy a little bit, but diving into that county play here. Tell me about that. What are some of your thoughts and expectations?
So last year, even though we ended up not doing so well in our district, we still managed to get to state and compete at like the highest level of that division. This year, coming in with a lot more experience of that area, so we already know what to look for. We know what to do, like what we need to do to build our camaraderie and just communicate better on the field, which is really just like connecting with each other. So yeah, we've met all these teams before. Now we're familiar with them, and we can just play our Paige soccer. So.
In terms of individually being one of those team leaders out there, and you're a senior captain. Coach Clapp actually sent some information there. I didn't realize you were the 4th-ranked career goal scorer here at Paige High, too. I mean, there's a lot of weight of being that person for a team, too. Taking the field, tell me about what kind of motivates you and just what it's like having your teammates follow you and being one of those voices that they look to.
For me, it's just however I can make the team better, like how we impact each other on and off the field. So it's being like one of those older senior players, just helping younger girls be able to see and understand the game better. We all just try to impact each other positively when we're practicing, when we're in before games. We try to uplift one another. Just anything we can do to help build our community and trust in one another. So yeah.
Throughout your career, you had mentioned it a little earlier about being elevated into that Class AAA realm, and this has been, you were part of the first ones for that, and that idea of joining the biggest classification and then still finding that success. What's that kind of say about the Paige program and how it's, the next in line finds a way to keep that tradition going?
Honestly, it comes from some of these older players who were before me and just their expectations they'd set for the team. Knowing that we were going to move up divisions, they were just so determined. And even when they were leaving and they knew that, they would uplift us, and they were trusting of us to continue their legacy. So it's really important to all of us that we continue to play Paige soccer and we just elevate the program to another level.
We're chatting with Reagan Vaughan of Paige High here, too. Coach Clapp, I think his wife had to work or do something, and he had to drop all the kids out at all their different stuff, and I know that's a lot, so he's playing Uber right now, so he couldn't join us. And I know he was probably going to share some embarrassing stories or something like that, because that's just who he is, But since he's not here, can you give us and our listeners and our viewers out there a little insight on what it's like playing for Coach Clapp and just what he's kind of like, and any stories you want to tell? He's not here, so we can kind of make fun of the guy even, too, if we want.
Yeah. He always starts our practice with a little message, or he's just like talking about the state tournament. That's always where his mind's at. How each tournament we can, like, for instance, Gatlinburg, how it impacts us in the long run, how we can win state. That's always every single year. He always mentions how we're going to go to state. So that's always his bigger goal for us. So he keeps us motivated with, even if we lose, how it can turn around in a minute. So Yeah, he just keeps us very motivated to the state tournament, and that's where our minds look.
He's a pretty good speaker, right? He knows how to say the right words at the right times, essentially, right? When you kind of think about how he coaches the guys, he coaches the girls. I mean, he's a big soccer guy. I mean, what are some of those things that you've kind of learned from him that really kind of stand out?
Just playing like freely, I'd say. Not having too many like plays.
Yeah.
So I'd say like just being yourself on the field mostly,
Okay.
not trying to change anything, just letting the team figure out how to play together without enforcing a lot of rules or expectations on them. Just letting us play how we want to play mostly. Just finding that connection together, being ourselves on the field.
You kind of alluded to what's next for you a little bit. Tell me about your decision, where we're going to see you playing next year. I know we got this whole season. I promise parents we're not going to trying to jump ship here, but tell us about what's coming up next for you.
I'm going to play Division I soccer at the University of Evansville. And yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun being able to play at the next level from what I've learned from the teamwork at Page and just the competition at the club level. It's just so exciting to be able to move on to that further level in college.
And to have it taken care of before actually playing out your senior year, right? I mean, just one of those things you don't got to worry about, right?
Yes.
I see. Well, curious to say, thinking of local stars doing really well. I mean, the University of Tennessee soccer program with their recent wins, too. There's the couple BGA girls there, the Ravenwood grads. Knowing the success here on that national level coming right here from in the county, and I'm sure you even played against those girls, too. I mean, what's that kind of do to motivate you to kind of take the mantle and do that at the next level for yourself?
It's just looking at all those girls who passed through and knowing that they can do it, so I could do it as well. They've come from the same place, same area of schools. So seeing them do it just makes me more motivated that I can as well.
Well, I know this coming week we really start that big gauntlet within Williamson County. You're going to play through everyone here. Is there a match that's kind of circled that you're like, I'm ready for that one, or are we just going to take it truly one at a time? Again, Coach Clapp's not here, so I think you could actually say, like, hey, I'm really excited about this game in particular. What kind of stands out for you?
Definitely Franklin. We've been rivals for a long time. Last year we beat them in the district tournament. We got first, so very exciting to meet them again. Looking forward to that. We played each other a lot last year, and they went to the state tournament as well. So it's kind of, we're both Williamson County schools. We both want to beat each other. We always rival for the top. So.
Well, we were chatting volleyball with Coach Whitlock there. Tomorrow, Nolensville and Brentwood meet up in a rematch of the state championship. September 18th, I'm pretty sure, is when Page and Franklin meet up on the soccer pitch. That's got to be a circled date, right?
Yes.
So if you're not busy, we got to go watch. Yeah. All right. Well, thinking of just where we are, what kind of has to happen in these coming weeks to find success in terms of this team just continually finding a way to rise?
Just working through our little things that we've talked about after every single game, making it strong, like our camaraderie stronger on the field. That comes with more communication, more understanding of one another. We've gotten a lot better since last year. We have finally found that teamwork and energy through the end of the season, so we're hoping to achieve that at the beginning of this season. Just doing the same things we did last year, how we figured that out, we're just hoping to do that again.
Well, last thing, being one of those senior veterans out there, having that next step taken care of. We got to watch you play Division I soccer here soon. Thinking of all that, can you give us some parting advice maybe to those younger players out there, just what it takes to be a good teammate, a good leader, and find success in the classroom and on the field?
I'd say do it even if you don't want to. So, like, if you're not motivated, you still have to be there for your teammates. You still have to work as hard as you can for them. And just it's all for the team. What you do is, like, it's not an individual victory. It's more like the team as a whole benefits from everything that every single player does. So,
Reagan, that's well said. Thank you so much for pushing that message and just being one of those leaders out there. We're really excited to follow you through the season, all right?
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Reagan
Thank
Vaughan,
you.
a Page Senior, our latest Gateway Tire Female Athlete of the Week. Congratulations, young lady. And so, if I'm not mistaken, she had 6 goals and 2 assists last week. Paige off to a 3-1-1 start. And just a nice, as she said, Paige Franklin. That's one of those big ones we're going to watch for later next month, September 18th. Circle that. So, again, this is the WillCo Sports Power Hour. We're live here at Tony's Eat and Drink. Some of those great sponsors, Matthews Team Sports, John Mayer Builders. And, hey, we got all the opportunity to have some more sponsors out there. So if you're willing, you want to know, check us out, find us on social media, reach out to the Williamson Herald and be a part of the WillCo Sports Power Hour or the High School Power Hour on Fridays on 104.5 The Zone. I got a really kind of fun one coming up here where I end up following so many different schools, so many different players, and in football in particular here, thinking of defensive players. I came up with a tough as nails kind of award / just thinking about a way to highlight one of those guys that does a little extra. And let's go ahead and get this young man up here. This is Colby. And Colby, I want you to say your last name just so I get it right off the bat here.
My name is Colby Barone.
Barone, right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first up, this right hand, raise that up there a little bit here, huh? So what happened here, man?
It's just a small little hairline fracture in my ring finger. It's nothing huge. It's no big deal.
Nothing huge, just a hairline fracture. Yeah. This happened during the game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, second half.
And you went back into the game, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, did you miss a couple plays at least?
Like 2 or 3.
Okay. Well, Colby, again, we got to chat with Coach Whitlock a little bit about this Independence win. Wanted to recognize you as our first tough as nails athlete here because, again, this is a guy who comes in here. You had 18 tackles, 10 solo. I think you forced a fumble.
Yes, sir, yeah.
And we played through a fractured finger on top of this. I mean, I tell you, that's not bad. You couldn't be taken off the field, right?
No, sir, I could not.
Oh, man. Well, give us a little insight into just what this opening week win was like, because it seemed like a lot happened in a single game. The monsoon,
Yeah.
a great start, you guys had to buckle down in that second half, that kind of thing. Tell us a little bit about the ebb and flow of this game and how you guys were able to come out on top.
Well, this first game has been really important to all of us guys at Indy because, as you would know, for the last 2 years, we've not been as good as we have been in the past. So with the return of our head coach, Scott Blade, it's just he's really pushing narrative like this is the year to turn it all around. This first game. This is everything as far as just proving like you are different this year. And so this first game was especially everything to all of us guys who have Coach Blade for another year to come, as I'm only a junior. And for me, I mean, this is my chance to, I'm pushing a narrative for my team that's like we are not the ones to give up or to just die in a hole like we have the past couple of years. So coming out, I'm willing to do whatever I can for my brothers, and the same goes for them, for me, and the rest of the team. So that's why it meant so much to us to really push this win.
That confidence you get from opening with a W, I mean, can you just expand on what that does to be like, hey, we're putting in all this work. We got all this energy back. Think of those preseason games, that big comeback win in August 15th, that kind of stuff. Like there's a different energy level on this team. And so to go out there, get the W on the road at a really good program for that matter too. What's that do for the Eagles?
I mean, it really boosts our confidence, like you were saying. It helps us to know that here we got more and better competition to play afterwards. This is a really good kickstart into our season. This proves that our work has paid off. I mean, we've put in countless hours and time and energy over the summer dedicated to this process, and to show that it actually pays off. We can get the dub away versus a great program. I mean, it just really proves that we have what it takes to go the distance.
So we get to know a little bit about Matt Horner. He's hard to miss. He's a big dude, 6'6" quarterback. The wideouts there, Hunter, and I like George coming up. I would love following his older brother Miller, who's at the University of Cincinnati now. Just an all-around great athlete out there. This defensive side of the ball, tell us a little bit about being one of the guys there and some of the other names we need to know, because you guys buckled down when you had to. This game got a little tight. You didn't allow anything else late.
Yes, sir. So on the defensive side, I love playing alongside my brothers, Blaze Gatina and Wyatt Young. They're both just bad dudes on the defensive side of the ball. They really buckle down when we need it. They both play linebacker. Corners, Landon Greathouse, Braxton Alexander. They're also great, tough players that play through adversity. They really handle those 50-50 balls well. Hunter Mullen even plays both ways, so I couldn't ask for just a better two-way player that really dedicates himself.
He's kind of on the edge of like, hey, this is a breakout year for me, right?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
I get it. It seems like that's kind of a common theme for a lot of you guys on this team.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, and as a team, I think we're just trying to do it too.
Yeah, of course.
Well, when you had Coach Blade come back into the program and take this over, and he's lived there, he's been a part of those great teams of past. What was those first workouts like, those first weeks in the off season about, hey, we got our guy back here. This is like Mr. Independence in a way here, and we want to work hard. Tell us a little bit about just that motivation factor you guys got right from the start.
It was definitely driving. In fact, of like, here we go. We got a new head coach. Obviously, there's a little bit of like unsureness amongst the guys, but overall just being really excited of like, hey, we got the man in our corner now. He's going to push us to where we need to go. He knows what's good and what's not good for us. So if we trust him, we follow the process. Obviously, here's where we go. Here's where we ended up.
When you think of Coach Blade and just his demeanor and how he kind of carries himself, how would you kind of describe that?
I mean, he's short and straight to the point, but he's exactly what I would absolutely love in a coach. He pushes you exactly how he needs to be pushed, and with the knowledge and the wisdom and the experience to back it up, it's like nothing he says is just like pulling stuff out of thin air. Like it is true, it's tried, like everything is just like down straight to the point. Just a great encourager, and he'll nitpick things to make you perfect, which is exactly what we all love.
Coming out of a week one win, having that little bit of confirmation, a little bit of extra energy and motivation. Tell us about how we're going to keep this rolling into week two and beyond.
Well, we're really going to attack this week 2 game against Lincoln County at home. It's I don't know how to really say this, but it's really it helps our confidence a lot playing. Like, we just played a really tough team on the road and got the dub. Now we're going to be in our own home stadium with all the fans, everyone like backing us up. Like, this is going to be a huge way to just really ramp up into the season.
And Lincoln, I think, won at home last week in a pretty good one, too. I think they were 21-20 winners. But a team like that, an established program, too, coming in, that's it'll be a fun test at home then, huh?
Yes, sir, it will.
So tell us about Friday night fireworks, what we're going to see from Independence at home.
Well, we're going to see a tough-as-nails defense once again. Me and a couple other guys are really going to be leading, making sure we can really get that shutout, hopefully, is what we want. And we're looking at an even better stand-up performance from our offense. Coach Blade bringing back the spread eagle offense. Just really airing the ball out and getting it downfield. And it's really, really exciting to watch, and you can expect more of that in the future.
As that defensive player, kind of one of those guys cheering everybody on, watching the offense go out there and put points on the board, what's that been like for you in particular, and just the guys getting your energy up, knowing it's my turn to go out there, my turn to do this, that kind of stuff?
It's really exciting because I get to come off after like making a great stop or something. I get to turn on and watch my quarterback, my receivers, my linemen, everything just execute and go perfectly well. It's such a change of pace from last year where I would come off and go, okay, let's really hope and pray that we can get that first down. Now it's like we're getting to the end zone. So how long can it take? It's almost like we're trying to beat a record every single time we step on that field.
Chatting with Colby Barone here of Independence High. Going back to this game, we got a few minutes here where just having this opportunity to chat's really unique. So thinking of what you saw in particular here, it's one thing to have 7 to 10 tackles, to have that opportunity to be in on a lot of stops. 18 is one of those bigger numbers. That's a head turning like, wait, what'd he do? And 10 solo on top of that. Just what were you seeing? Tell us a little bit about your game plan going in individually and just what was going on last week.
Well, for me, this was my first game starting at a varsity position. This was a really big moment for me as I'm trying to go on my journey to hopefully go and play college sports. So for me, I'm going into this game knowing I'm going to put my body on the line for my brothers. And with the help of my coaches, who really helped me study the opposing team's film, I was able to get out there and see, boom, here's the play, boom, go make the play, go make the tackle. And when I really mean, like, I'm trying to get back on the field, I come off, I get my hand wrapped, and I need to be back in there because I know I need to help out my brothers and just kind of help keep everybody together. But I live for this game. I live for the brotherhood. I got to be in everything. That's how my mind works.
athletic staff at Independence is some of the best. I know she's been there
Yes,
a long
sir. Yes,
time,
sir.
and when she's taking care of your hand there, just walk us through how it was like, okay, something happened. Describe how it happened first, and then going to the sideline and be like, hey, take care of this. Get me back in there.
Let's see. So I made a tackle, I think around our own 40. It was a pretty decent tackle, but I was like, oh, that kind of hurt. I kind of shook it off, played a couple more plays, and I looked at it again. I was like, oh, that doesn't look right. There's about a lump the size of a quarter on top of my ring finger. Finish up the drive. I go off. I say, hey, Miss Brandy, I need you to wrap this up. She gets it looked at. She goes, hey, you're still connected. You want to go back out? I said, absolutely.
Yeah.
She tapes me up. She gets me right. I go back out and play. Got to come back off a couple of plays later, retape it and everything. But she's like quick, efficient, easy to the point. She's like just great at really just flipping our team around, getting us back into the game. I couldn't ask for a better personal trainer.
So moving forward here, are we going to be just taped kind of like this, or we're going to have a little casted up? What's the deal?
Well, I'm getting this off tomorrow. This is a little bit of an overkill for a little hairline fracture.
Yeah.
But I'll be getting a removable splint. I'll absolutely be playing this Friday. Nothing to worry about there, but I should be back to 100% by next week at the absolute latest.
Awesome. Well, thinking of the schedule here, I know we go right into a good Lincoln County team, but walk us through maybe a couple of those big games you're really looking forward to in just terms of being, hey, we're back here. We want to showcase Independence ball. Give us some circled matchups that we got to know about for Fridays here.
Let's see. I'll be looking at us versus Franklin. I'd also be looking at us versus Lincoln County as a big one, just because it's more of a season opener. First 2 weeks are really important. Later in the season, I would really be keeping an eye out for us versus Page, us versus Ravenwood. We really think we got what it takes to kind of stun some of these older guys that are ranked really, really high in the state. I mean, we got all this confidence. We got all this, I don't know, just all of the wins at our backs, and it's really pushing us into the season. So,
well, that's something to kind of go on there a little bit is that added motivation of facing some of those great teams here. Obviously, Page has been playing for a state championship for several years in a row. Ravenwood all the way to the semis there. These are two teams here right within your schedule that you get to face off, not to mention in your region for Ravenwood, but that idea of, like, these are the guys to beat. And to have that opportunity, how motivating is that?
it's really motivating, especially knowing, like, I'm playing against top competition. My team is, I mean, we're never going to a game going, oh, I hope we don't lose.
Yeah.
We're like, we're here to win. We're here to do something, make a difference, unlike the last couple of years. So it's really motivating to go, like, this is top talent. This is, like, the show to watch.
Yep.
So it's just, I don't know, it's really cool to get in there and just play the game that we all love.
And we want Independence to be one of those teams now then, too,
Absolutely,
right?
yes, sir.
Yes, awesome. Well, Colby, is there anything else you'd like to want to chat about, mention, give shout-outs to, anything like that come to mind?
I'd really love to shout out my quarterback, Matthew Horner. He's done an excellent job. He played last year as a sophomore, really had to step up in that big role, and I think he did a great job, and especially watching his growth over this offseason with the new head coach, with a lot of new staff behind him and backing him, just the amount of change that he's made from even January to now as far as his reads and his footwork, and just everything is just absolutely off the charts. I think he's going to be a really big prospect to look at coming forward, and I'm just really proud of him for the work he's put in, how dedicated he's really been to this team.
Great shout out to the QB there. Again, we're just looking forward to all these Independence players coming up, and you guys finding a way to keep making a name for yourselves. Congratulations on a Week 1 win. Independence at Rockvale, 37-23 winners. Colby Barone, our first tough as nails athlete to be featured here on the WillCo Sports Power Hour. Colby, congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Again, Colby Barone of Independence High. Appreciate him coming on the WillCo Sports Power Hour here. So wanted again to mention him. Oh, no. Just checking. Are we still there? Maybe? No? There we go. All right. Don't worry about it, Colby. Those things happen. We appreciate it, though. Again, Colby Barone, our first tough as nails athlete to be featured here on the WillCo Sports Power Hour. He had 18 tackles with a forced fumble, played through a hairline fracture in his finger as well in that second half to help lead these boys to a win. So a big one there. Want to give a shout out to a couple of those other guys we were looking at there. Matt Anderson of Ravenwood High. Ravenwood goes and beats Madison Ridgeland Academy in Mississippi. Matt has 14 tackles, 3 for loss, a sack, and 2 pass breakups. That was a big sack, too, in that second half for Ravenwood, so he was one of our other nominees for this. 28-24 winners there for Ravenwood. Also, Will Frank of Fairview High He had 16 tackles to help lead those Yellow Jackets past East Hickman 47-18. Some of our toughest nails nominees, but congratulations to Colby, Barone, and thanks so much for coming on. And hey, we're going to have you come back up here at some point. That was a very well-spoken young man on top of that, too. So, again, if you haven't had the opportunity, this show is being streamed out there on the Williamson Herald, on Facebook Live. It'll be back and out and represented on all the great social media platforms from Spotify and beyond. I know we got one more guest lined up here, but I think until he gets here, we could actually maybe just even take a breather here. But we will be chatting with Kaedyn Marable of BGA here. He's actually racing over from practice, I know, so it's kind of neat that he's making the effort, but we appreciate it for sure. But until then, let's just go ahead and step aside. We got one more guest we're going to have coming on here. Instead of me speaking, we'll have Kaedyn come up and join us as soon as he does get here. But we do appreciate all our great sponsors out there: John Mayer Builders, Matthews Team Sports, Toyota Cool Springs, Gateway Tire and Service, and Tim Thompson, Premier Realtors. So again, we'll be back here in just a few minutes with our final guests of the night and more from the WillCo Sports Power Hour live here at Tony's Eat and Drink. Thank you for that quick pause there real quick. We got one final guest here on the WillCo Sports Power Hour I want to be able to chat about. So again, we're live out there on Facebook. We're here at Tony's Eat and Drink. Thanks so much for coming and joining us here and helping represent some of these great student athletes we have in the house here. We do have our last guest, Mr. Kaedyn Marable of BGA. Kaedyn, come on up here, man. Let's chat a little bit. So we had our Gateway Tire Female Athlete of the Week here a little earlier in Reagan Vaughan of Page. Kaedyn, you're our Gateway Tire Male Athlete of the Week. Congratulations, man. I know you've been up here before. Welcome back to the show, man.
Thank you. Good to be up here.
Yeah. Tell me, so we got you directly from practice, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, sir, you did.
Yeah. Nothing to it, right? Did you let Nate drive, or was it you, or yeah? No? Okay, all right. I wouldn't trust that guy for that anyway, yeah. Well, let's go back to week one, man, because you had one of those explosive, like, super efficient games, finished with 6 touchdowns, threw for 4, ran in 2 more. I mean, this offense was so explosive. I think you guys only needed about 30 plays, but you put up 48 points. How great was that start for y'all?
I mean, it was just great to be out there with my guys, you know. The O-line started up front, made it easy for me to get my passes off and be comfortable back in the pocket. And my receivers did a good job getting open, catching the ball.
The couple guys that you were throwing to specifically in this game ended up being some of those young, fresher faces of sorts here, too. I know you had a freshman out there. You know, Max is just a sophomore, too, but still having no Arnett out there.
Right.
You know, no Locke. You know, these are some guys that you got to really used to. So getting to debut and have that success with some of these young men out there. Tell us about that camaraderie you guys have been able to build.
Yes, sir. I think our young guys, the younger receivers, are one of the best cores in the state. You know, we spent a lot of time this offseason getting work in and just working our routes and timing and just catching the ball and getting better, knowing them better, you know. And it really showed it paid off last week.
So, again, for all our listeners out there, I got the stats right here. 10 for 12 for 293 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then he ran for 96 more and 2 more scores. 48-13 win against a Jackson Prep team of Mississippi here. This was a neutral site game for you guys, too, right? So what was, I guess, walk me through the Friday night, because it's a little different. Like, you're not going to their place, they're not coming to yours, but you're still traveling on top of that. Where were y'all playing again?
We played at St. George's, which is a private school that's in our district in Memphis, Collierville, actually. It was a little bit different because we went to their place, we had to use their gym, and then also our locker rooms are right next to each other. So we had to see them walk out and stretch and all that.
The motivation coming into this year, I know after the success of last year, you yourself individually being a Mr. Football finalist at the same time, too. Tell us about coming into this year and being a senior, having Coach Bentley in his second year, that kind of thing too. What's the motivation factor for you guys, especially you veteran leaders out there?
I mean, just get better and better each day. You know, last year we went to state, and I kind of feel like as a team overall, we kind of were like satisfied with just making it to state, and we ended up losing that game, obviously. So this year we kind of just got back to work, go out to practice each and every day, working harder, competing. And yeah.
Now, I know Nate was telling me about that first ever practice with Coach Bentley and just how he drove him into the ground. Coming out of the championship last December, getting back to work in January, tell us a little bit about, give us a little insight of what the off-season build-up was like and what day one for this season was like.
You know, it started early, I would say the winter time, maybe like January, was our first team workout in the mornings at 7 a.m. And we kind of just set a standard from there to wake up early, show up on time, get after it in the weight room, compete with each other in the weight room as well. And then heading into the summer, we kept on working, competing in practice, getting better, going to like 7-on-7 tournaments and competing there. And then this past week, we kind of just went out there with being prepared. We were able to play and just have fun out there.
One of the things I was actually chatting with your mom a little bit about this too was just how, you know, the big plays, we see so much of this offense in those big lightning things. I think you had back-to-backs with like a 60-yarder and a 70-yarder, that kind of thing. But in a way, staying loose, staying in the moment. Can you talk about how you stay in that mindset? Because we see your stats oftentimes, you just don't get as many plays because you're making big plays. It's an explosive offense. How do you stay in the moment? How do you stay ready for the next one?
Kind of just staying locked in on the sideline, you know, talking to the coaches, seeing what I could do better, because even if I do complete a pass or for a long touchdown, there's always something I could do better. You know, talking to my guys, the O-line, seeing what they see, and just chatting it up so we can go out there next drive and do the same thing.
Tell me about that camaraderie you have with those leaders up there, your centers, your guards out there, that group as a whole. What do they do to make life easy for you?
I mean, they just know what they're doing. So first, they know what they're doing, and then they do it to a high standard, so it just makes it easier, easy pocket. This past week, I think only got pressured maybe like once, so shout out to them.
I see. Thinking of the makeup of this team, having some of those guys that we lost from last year, the camaraderie, that kind of thing. Explain that a little bit. How close are y'all? What are we seeing this year maybe compared to last that's a little different?
I mean, I think this summer we kind of came together even more than we did last year. You know, probably a couple of times, if not every day after practice, a couple of guys going out to eat at least, going to the pool together, hanging out, you know, giving other people a ride, just being there for each other. And I think it's kind of just helped us a lot on the field, being able to come together off the field.
We go right into a middle region matchup here this coming week against Columbia Academy. You guys obviously started with a really good momentum style win, get the confidence, shake the cobwebs off, that kind of thing. What are we going to see come Friday here?
You know, Columbia Academy, they're a good opponent. They're a solid team. You know, we're going to treat it like every other week. Just focus on this week. Go out to practice each and every day. Go harder and harder in each day to prepare us for Friday.
Coach Bentley kind of mentioned the motto here a little bit going into this year, and it was just that digging a little deeper thing. I think he said adding a little more weight every time, that kind of stuff. That mentality as a group, can you explain that a little bit about how you guys are just trying to get a little bit better every time?
I mean, starts, you know, in the workouts in the weight room, whether that just be add 5 more pounds onto the bar, you know, making sure holding each other accountable, make sure we're not skipping any reps or sets at all, and then it just translates over to the field.
When we talk about Friday nights, obviously we got some great games coming out here. We were just chatting about a Centennial Fairview game locally. There's Nolensville and Indy, I think. I mean, just all these different good games happening. Why do we got to come see BGA play here at some point? Because, you know, just explain what makes a BGA game so much fun and why we got to come check you out.
Right. I think we have some great chemistry. You know, we like to have a lot of fun on the field. I think it will be very entertaining no matter who we play. It would always be a good game because we play some good opponents. And, yeah.
How have you kind of managed just being one of those names? I mean, last year, throwing for more than 3,400 yards, being that Mr. Football finalist, getting to that state championship game, all those different things. I mean, your resume is pretty stacked up, man. And now coming in with being a senior, just explain where your mindset is and how you stay focused and how you take on that pressure of being successful too.
Right. I kind of just try not to let it get to my head too much. all these accolades and all that. They're cool, and the rankings, they're cool. But really, I just try to go out there every Friday night, give my best to my team, and make sure and put us in the best position we can to win the game.
This team, I feel like, has a lot of guys with that kind of mindset here, for sure, huh? This, tell us a little bit about some of the other leaders out there. I know we got one of them in the house here with you, too.
Nathan right here, he plays both ways. He really leads O-line and D-line. You know, he's always vocal, always helping each other out. If someone doesn't know, they're coming to him on the O-line especially. Then on D-line as well, he just a force up front. You got to have at least probably 2 guys to block him.
Yeah, I think that's a given for sure. Well, last thing before I let you go here, man. Again, this is Kaedyn Marable, our latest Gateway Tire Male Athlete of the Week. Congratulations, first off. But thinking of Friday night, Columbia Academy, sell it to us, man. Sell us. That's why the game we got to be at.
Right? I mean, we're playing a good team. It's a first regional game of the year, our first home game. So it's a Wildcat welcome. A lot of people will be there. The crowd will be live that game. I think it'll be a lot of fun and entertaining to watch.
Kaedyn, I appreciate you taking the time, hustling over here after practice, too. It means a lot. Please enjoy a nice meal on the house here at Tony's Eat and Drink, all right?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Kaedyn Marable, our latest Gateway Tire Male Athlete of the Week. He's been here before, too. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Kaedyn, again, appreciate you taking the effort coming over here. Him and Reagan Vaughan, our athletes of the week. We had our tough as nails young man in Colby Barone here. We had Coach Patrick Whitlock of the Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. Happy to have him on board. Another quick shout out to all those great sponsors that make this show possible. Tim Thompson, Premier Realtors, Gateway Tire and Service, Toyota of Cool Springs, Matthews Team Sports, and John Mayer Builders. A quick shout out to all our great hosts here at Tony's Eat and Drink. We're here every Monday night. Start at 6, the WillCo Sports Power Hour. Check us out online too. And be sure to tune in on Friday night for the High School Power Hour on 104.5 The Zone as well. From 9 to 11, we'll have a live show recapping all the football, all the great games throughout the week as well too. We're more than just a football show, but we have all those live scoreboards and conversations coming up Friday nights. That's from 9 to 11 on 104.5 The Zone. Myself and former Ravenwood coach Will Hester will be hosting that one this week, so looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Be sure to give it a check-in. That's at HS Power Hour on social media as well, too. But be sure to check out the Williamson Herald for all the great local sports coverage. I'm doing a lot here. I'll be at some volleyball and some golf tomorrow, some more football, obviously, through the week, and a soccer match this week as well. So a lot on the docket. Thank you so much for tuning in here, everybody, for our second WillCo Sports Power Hour of the school year. We'll see you next Monday. I'm Charles Pulliam of the Williamson Herald. See you next week.